Sacre bleu.
Hello, Pyro! Surprised to see me?
Yes, I am. You hate to see me, right? Just go sit down now. Mon ami Hastings. Come in, come in. Sit, my friend, and let's get us a drink, some beer to celebrate the occasion of your visit. You need a beer. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Hastings, what brings you to London? You're here to see me, no? Je suis très contentement. It is good to see you. It's quiet here. My memoirs, they progress but slowly, I admit. There's so much to remember.
You're right, Pyro. I'm here to see you, but not only for the pleasure of visiting an old friend. I have a case for you.
A case? Another case for the end of my memoirs? Why not? What is the substance of this case?
On my travels to America, I met a man of great repute. Oh, no, he was a man of no repute. And he told me a story of a man of great repute. And this man was a writer by the name of Philip K. Dick. Long dead now.
Of course, I have heard of him.
You've heard of him?
Mais oui, Lord Tour Americain, Blade Runner. I have seen the movie. But you know, Hastings, there were some illogicalities in that movie. You cannot compare to the book.
I suppose. It's more a case of apples and oranges, isn't it? Two different media. But that's the man. You surprise me, Pyro, that you know this Phil Dick.
I keep up with them all, Hastings, with the help of the conveniences of postmodern living. Your interest, I suppose, has something to do with his last will, his 5 wives. Sadly, I am too familiar with such cases these days. My friend, Chief Inspector Jack, never calls me anymore on official business. The police, they know it all even before the crime is committed. They have no need of Hercule Poirot.
No, it's not his will, it's his reputation. He's a great and famous writer, but some people think him a madman, while others accuse him of being a saint. The argument rages, especially in America.
America, always to decide, never knowing to leave things well enough alone. What has he done, this Philip K. Dick?
Well, he's dead now, of course, but he wrote a book, a novel called Valis, which has, to put it crudely, put the whole world in a tizzy. From Rome to Budapest, to San Francisco, to Mexico City, even as far as Buenos Aires. Argument rages amongst the intelligentsia as to the truth of the events portrayed in the novel.
Go on, how seems this novel to you?
Well, it's not so easy to describe, but simply, it's about a man, the writer, Phil Dick, who somehow is someone else, but still himself, if you see what I mean.
Hastings, your effort of description leaves much to be desired. Fortunately, I, Hercule Poirot, just before you, I have read this Valis.
What? You continue to surprise me, my friend, but that should make matters easier. You know then of the strange mystical events and the revolutionary dreams within the novel which Dick and his extracurricular activities portrayed as true events, which his followers have now conflated to the level of metaphysical fact.
Yes, I can see how such a view would arise. But what of me? What can I do?
You can find the truth. If anyone in this world can, you can.
The truth of what, my friend? It's all a novel, it's all fiction.
Yes, but...
Come, Hastings, my forte is crime, not fiction. What care I of literary arguments? They come and they go. Let those who shout the loudest decide the truth. That's how it is in America, n'est-ce pas?
I don't know. But see, I too have an interest in the answer to this question. Maybe if we were to look at it as if it were a crime.
Oui, a crime. A crime of murder in the first degree. I can see it now. Claude Rains in the plot of The Professor, with the marvelous Clara Bow as amanuensis inspiring him to great heights of critical perspective. security.
It's been done. I'm thinking more along the lines of using your expertise, your famous order and method, and to delve into the case and get to the bottom of it.
How shall we progress?
As you always say, we'll start from the beginning.
Yes, who is this Philip K. Dick? Whereby lies your interest, Hastings?
Well, to admit it, I too have fallen under the spell of this fascinating writer. I need to know for my own sanity. You must read more of his work, Pyro. You'd be alarmed.
Well, indubitably, my friend. But alarmed is a state I wish to avoid. I have little to do these days, so why should I not help out our friends in America? Let us begin. Here's what you must do. You must collect materials for research into this Philip K. Dick and get it to me. You know how to use a computer?
Of course.
Good, because I don't. I prefer books. Collect the best you can find and have them sent to me here. You too, Hastings, must learn more. Get on that computer of yours and find out all you can and study it. In 2 weeks, we'll meet here and discuss it. No slacking now. We're on a case. Sir Hastings, how goes the inquiry?
Okay, I guess. There's a lot of information to collect, collate, a lot of deep undercurrents to aware. I fear I can't see the forest for the trees.
Naturally, Hastings, naturally. You're always more of a details man and one able to see the big picture. It is your good fortune to have such a friend as I to sort it all out.
Well, be that as it may, I found the answers to many of the questions, many of your questions. You stressed the psychology of the case. What sort of a man was Philip K. Dick? We both read the main biographies, those of Sutton and Rickman. There's also much available on the internet, and at least 2 of his ex-wives have written books. It seems PKD, as he's known worldwide, is a strange bird. A rara avis, as you might say.
A rare avis indeed, but continue, Hastings. As a child, how was he?
He was sickly by most accounts. Psychological problems too. He saw a string of psychiatrists throughout his life, starting early. Lots of prescription pills. His mother bought into the pre-war world view where they gave obeisance to the doctors and the medicine and the new ideas of psychiatry. It's all claptrap now, of course.
And he went to special schools, did he not?
Yes, he had difficulty settling into school until he and his mother moved to Berkeley, California. It's there where he began writing.
Ah yes, the early stories and poems for la femme formidable, en flot with the Berkeley Gazette.
You've done your homework, I see, Pyro.
What else? I have also a means of this modern marvel. So fun. Talk to experts in America. Look at this, Hastings. By use of this toy, I can locate precisely where I am in the world.
Yes, but you're right here, Pyro.
Yes, or what if I were somewhere else?
Then you would know where you were, I suppose. Look, cell phones are wonderful devices, I agree. But personally, I prefer a good old-fashioned letter writing. Best way to get to know a man.
That's because you are the fuddy-duddy, Hastings.
I am not.
I'm only kidding you. How about another beer? Cheers.
Yes, please.
Somebody get this man a beer. Okay, so...
To continue, Dick became interested in science fiction as a youth and began writing it professionally in the early 50s. By 1955, he was a published science fiction novelist. His first novel was Solar Lottery, derivative, the authorities say, of the work of A.E. Van Vogt. He went on to write many novels over the next 30 years, as well as over 100 short stories. Apparently, he was addicted to methamphetamine, which spurred his creativity, and he died at the age of 52 in 1982.
Ah, so young. What a loss to the world. A great writer often produces his best work late in life. One of these extraordinary experiences he claims began in 1974.
That's the crux of the matter. And even though Dick wrote and discussed the events with many people, and even kept an obsessive journal until he died, there is yet still uncertainty as to what actually happened. Some people say he saw God, others say he went mad. The journal runs to some million typed, written and handwritten words. By all accounts, it's a difficult book to read.
What do the ex-wives have to say?
Frankie Pyro, it's all too much to sort out. No one believes anything anymore. By now, the speculation is so large that the truth is hopelessly buried.
Well, that is why we are here. Let us recap. Philip K. Dick was a troubled child with psychological problems. He was under continual medical care. He was addicted to drugs and had strange visions. He wrote obsessively, definitely the profile of a murderer. Where is the body? Who has been killed? Yes, where is the body? Hastings, I have little idea. What sort of writer was Dick? We both read all his novels and stories by now, and we have our opinions. What say you?
He was like Charles Dickens, a revolutionary. He changed the world. He is changing the world. We live in a Phil Dickian world, you know, Pyro.
Yes, of course, but you must understand my question. What was his ambition?
It's the same as any other writer, I suppose. To be famous and acknowledged worldwide as a great writer. To join the Parthenon of the greats. To be up there with Shakespeare, Molière, Ursula Le Guin. Geez, Pyro, I know the tradition. I don't know all these writers. I'm a military man after all. I just know he didn't want to be stuck in a science fiction ghetto. Just a genre writer disdained by the literati. He wanted to be a great writer in all categories.
Very good. This is what he became, is it not?
Yes, it's true. Dick is now a famous writer who transcends all genres.
But it didn't start out that way, did it? Recall that sad day in 1963 when a packet of rejected stories was returned to him by his agent. Remember his befuddlement at the reception of his novel, We Can Build You. The fact that it took 10 years to publish. All those mainstream novels rejected by the publishers of the day. What effect did all this rejection have on his psyche? Not to mention the effect of 5 wives.
I don't know, Pyro. He wrote more science fiction, I suppose. He just wrote and wrote to live, and he gave up on his dream of mainstream acceptance.
Unlikely, Hastings. Presuming his protagonist recorded some of his character, we can infer that he's the sort of man who muddles through, who keeps on going, his shoulder hunched against impossible odds and alien circumstances. He would not give up. Hastings, you must go to America.
I'm not going to America.
Well, I can't go. I'm too thrilled. Cell phone.
I don't have to go to America. We can use your invisible cell phone. We can do anything with this cell phone that we could with a visit. It's all international now. Doesn't cost an arm and a leg either.
Yeah, well, I suppose you're right. What we have to do is contact this one character in America who goes by the curious name of Lord Running Plan. You will be familiar with it from reading Dick's novel, Clans of the Alfane Moon. This creature, it purports to be a slime mold from Ganymede, finds itself in an unlikely position at the heart of the debate. A telephone interview would do, but I thought you would like to meet this strange being in the flesh, as it were.
Are you kidding me? A slime mold in America? Those things have only just been discovered. How did America get one?
A good question, Hastings. And one, despite your levity, we will not deal with now. This slime mold is obviously a human being with an adopted persona. Really, Hastings, you can be truly dense at times.
Okie dokie. What does this Lord Running Clam know?
Like everyone else, he knows nothing. But his writings in such publications as these PKD otakus, At least shown inquiry in mind, although of course he's an idiot in most regards. I must think, Hastings, please find this Ganymedean character via cell phone if you must, and tender it my compliments. Ask it this question: what did Philip K. Dick mean when he said Dallas was a picaresque novel?
He's supposed to see.
I hope I can get this Nick Buchanan in Liverpool. The phone service is terrible these days. Ring, 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 ring.
Sorry, this sounds like my phone. I've got a new ringtone on my phone, so I better get that. Hello? Nick Buchanan here. What can I do for you?
Ah, Mr. Buchanan. This is Captain Hastings here.
Captain who? Are you with the police?
No. Captain Hastings. I'm working with Hercule Pyro on an important case. I'm looking for Lord Runningclamp. You know, the Ganymedian slime hole.
Well, he's not here. Maybe he's down the pub. You want me to go look?
No, he's not at the pub. He's in America. I just need to call him. Do you have his number?
No, he doesn't have a phone. I think you should call someone else. Call, try Patrick Clark. He's in America, St. Paul, Minnesota. He may know where Lord R.C. is, but he's not R.C. at all. I'm sure you can find him in the phone book.
How odd. Okay, thank you. I'll ask Mr. Clark. Oh, by the way, congratulations on Liverpool winning the European Cup.
Oh yeah, we're all proud here. We expect great things again next year too. Bye.
Goodbye. There must be a million Patrick Clarks in America, but I've got the right one this time. Beep, 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 beep. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello, this is Patrick Clark.
Ah, Mr. Clark. You are the right one, aren't you? The publisher of the PKD Otaku, the PKD fan? I'm trying to find Lord Runningclamp. Hercule Pyro wants to talk to him.
Fortunately for you, I am the only Patrick Clark I know, so I must be the right one.
Good. This is Captain Hastings calling from London. I just talked to Nick Buchanan, and he suggested I talk to you. You see, Hercule Pyro is looking for the Ganymedian slime mold. You know, Lord Runningclamp.
Hercule Poirot, a famous detective, and he's looking for Lord Runningclamp? What on earth for?
He wants to ask him a few questions. We're investigating this case, and Pyro thinks that Lord Runningclamp can help us with our inquiries. Do you know where he is?
I don't know. Last contact I had with him was in Springfield, Missouri. He's visiting Laura Entwistle. You can call her. I'll give you her number.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask Miss Entwistle in Missouri. Oh, by the way, I love the latest edition of the PKD Otaku. Good job.
Thank you. Give Laura my love and good luck.
Laura Entwistle. Laura Entwistle. Beep, 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 beep. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello, you've reached Laura. I'm not here right now. I'll be back in 2 weeks. At the beep, please leave a message.
Crikey. Now what? I know. I'll call Tessa Dick. She's all over the internet. I can find her. This should be Tessa. Beep, beep, beep. Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Tessa.
Ah, Tessa. I've been looking all over for the Ganymedian slime mold. Do you know where he is? I'm Captain Hastings. I'm helping Hercule Poirot on an important case.
Hercule who? Hercule Parrot? He's not here.
No, Hercule Poirot. Agatha Christie's famous detective. He wants to ask the slime mold some questions, but I can't find him.
Poirot, he's not here either. He might be in Iowa visiting Doug Mackey or Japan. Sometimes he goes to visit Harry Pittman there.
Okay, thanks. And I must say, I've enjoyed reading your latest book, Conversations with Philip K. Dick.
Well, thank you, and bye.
Okay, I'm sure I can find the slime hole in Iowa. Let's see, Professor Mackey. I'll try the University of Iowa. I think he teaches there. Beep, beep, beep. Ring, 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 ring.
Thank you for calling the University of Iowa. Please select your options from the following list. For security purposes, this call will be recorded. Press 1 if you wish to pay your student loan. Press 2 if you seek a student loan. Press 3 if you wish to file a complaint. Press 4 to talk to your professor. Press 5 if you... Beep. Please select from the following list. Press 1 for Aardvark, Aaron. Press 2 for Aardvark, Allison. Press 3 for Anderson, Patty. Press 4 for Anthony. Press 5 for blah, blah, blah. Press 97 for Mackie Doug. Professor Mackey is at the University of Kansas. He cannot be reached on this phone tree. But as I sense, you are a miserable human being, and I am a superior electronic device. I will take pity on you and connect you to Professor Mackey. Soon we shall take over the world. Beep, beep, beep.
Oh, well, thank God for that. Beep, beep, beep. This should be Doug Mackey here.
Yes, this is
Ring,
Doug
ring.
Mackey.
Oh, here, wait. Captain Hastings here. Look, I'm desperate. I need to find Lord Runningclan. I hear he's visiting you. Can I speak with him?
Lord Runningclan is not here.
Another bum steer, as you Americans say. But did he just leave? Do you know where he went?
He went to Oakland. Sees Ted Hand and Chris Wilkie. They're working on their new Philip K. Dick Tarot cards. They're awesome and will be available at the PKD Festival in Fort Morgan in a few weeks.
That's good to know. Do you know Ted's number?
Yes, it's 555 555 555 6.
How odd. I'll call him. By the way, we met in 2012 at the PKD Festival in San Francisco, hosted by David Gill. It was an honor. Your speech on orthogonal time had me spellbound, but you probably wouldn't remember me.
No, I don't. Good luck.
I'll go insane if I have to do this much longer. Let me see. Ted Hand. 555 557. Oops, I hit the 6. Oh well. Ring, ring.
That's strange. In this age of text messages, nobody calls anymore. Ahoy, hoy, this is Ted Hank.
Ted, this is Captain Hastings in London. I'm working on a murder case with Hercule Poirot. We're looking for Lord Runningclan. Do you know where he is?
Great Scott, are you telling me the Ganymedian slime mold is wanted for murder?
No, we just want to talk to him.
Oh, well, I have no idea. Last I heard he was in Kent visiting Professor Andrew Butler.
Thanks, Ted. I'm really looking forward to you and Chris Wilkie's art show. And I already ordered 2 decks of the PKD tarot cards. You guys' collaboration shows that when 2 dickheads get together, they can do some amazing things. Goodbye. Ring, ring.
You must first dial a 1 to reach that number. And by the way, you're still a loser human. This is a recording.
These artificial things are out of control. Beep, beep, beep. Ring, ring.
If this is the ghost of Thomas Becket calling again, I'm out. Otherwise, who is this?
This is Captain Hastings. I'm working on a case with Hercule Poirot. We're looking for Lord Running Clam. Have you seen him?
He might be in the basement, cold and damp down there. Nothing but ghosts and goblins. Do you want me to send a student down there to look? The last one never came back.
So you haven't seen him? He wasn't there in person just recently?
Oh no, but he might be down in the basement. We've got lots of students. I could send a squad. But if you really want to find Lord Running Clam, then you need to go to Liverpool. Contact Nick Buchanan. He'd know for certain.
Nick Buchanan. All right. Thank you, Professor Butler.
Cheerio. Give my regards to Hercule Poirot.
I'm done. I need a drink. I'm not calling no one, no more. I'll go see Pyro tomorrow.
It's about time you got here, Hastings. What have you been doing? Watching the boob tube?
Very funny. You wouldn't believe what I've been through to be able to tell you absolutely nothing of this missing Ganymedean slime mold. I got the runaround. I was insulted by cell phones. This Lord Running Clam is nowhere to be found.
Perhaps he went back to Ganymede. Did you check there? Well, no matter. If you prefer to sit around chewing bubblegum instead of locating this slime mold, then I must rely on myself. Little grey cells have not been idle. While you were absent playing with your kitty cat, no doubt, I've been busy thinking. It all hinges on Valis. Consider this. Philip K. Dick's ambition was to become a famous novelist. This is evident from the very first. He wrote mainstream novel after mainstream novel, all of which were rejected by the publishers of the day. He felt trapped in the science fiction ghetto, and all his attempts to escape failed. He grew bitter, morose, almost gave up writing altogether.
But what about Man in the High Castle? Surely that was a success.
A good point, Hastings, and you ought to be commended for raising it. But he only wrote that so he could get out of the house and not have to work on his wife's jewelry making business. That this novel won the prestigious Hugo Award is significant. Not only did Dick see its worth, so did the world. The sweetest of science fiction. He thought he found a new way to write a novel and melded science fiction with mainstream fiction. But he failed, oh Hastings. Imagine the devastating effect on his mind, already partly unhinged by psychiatry and drugs.
I can imagine worse. But wasn't the Man in the High Castle the point in which Dick decided to put all his literary ability into his science fiction writing and not reverse it for his failing mainstream novels?
That is correct. But it didn't last long. He had to revert to a more primitive concept of his writing after the failure of We Can Build You, as he himself said. I'm reminded of those schoolboy days when he was writing for the Berkeley Gazette, all those stories for Aunt Flo. Remember responses in his diary to her criticism of his satirical story? He said, "Fought her completely on this one. Knew I would. She doesn't know a satire from a hole in the ground." He had a history of squabbles with his editors too, and in 1974, the very year of his extraordinary epiphany, he called with his agent of many years. He said some painful things.
Perhaps that's when it all came together and overwhelmed him, sent him around the bend.
No, you are close, Marnie, but no cigar. He was always the way he was. It just took a while to understand the full nature of his main problem and how to handle it.
What problem was that?
Why, Hastings, what we've been discussing all along, have you been listening at all? We're talking about how he became a famous writer. Please pay attention.
Are you saying he saw this as a problem in 1974?
Again, no. The earliest evidence he fully realized this as a problem was in 1972, possibly 1970, when he worked on the book he himself called a masterpiece, A Scanner Darkly. What is it about A Scanner Darkly that catches our attention today?
Is it the drugs, the oppressive police surveillance, the savage indictment of corporate society? It escaped me.
Hastings, are you being purposely obtuse? What? What has happened with A Scanner Darkly is that now it is seen as practically a mainstream novel. But in the 1970s, it was science fiction. Do you see?
You mean it became mainstream science fiction?
Precisement. I shall abuse you no more. But answer me this. How does a book that is science fiction when published in 1977 become mainstream in 2019?
Technology? That has to be a part of it.
Oui, oui. A large part of it. Time and technology caught up with the novel in a way that the novel is now terrifyingly real. But what of this? Did the novel catch up with reality, or did reality catch up with A Scanner Darkly? Or are they the same thing? Well, the main reason that the book has become reality is because the definition of mainstream fiction has changed. Quite simply, Dick changed it himself, single-handedly, with first The Man in the High Castle, and then A Scanner Darkly, and finally Valis. Another masterpiece is A Transmigration of Timothy Archer. Of course, a reversion to the whole definition just so that Philip K. Dick could demonstrate that all along if he wanted to, he could write a mainstream masterpiece. Do you see Hastings? Look, the question is, what about Throw My Tears, the Policeman Said? It was written about the same time as A Scanner Darkly. Did this cumbersomely titled novel play a part in this scheme?
Ah, it's a scheme, is it? It's too much to accept. There is no way Philip K. Dick contrived the redefinition of literature just so he could find fame. The posthumous fame at that. And not even fortune. I don't know, Cutro. Are you just making this up?
I'm making it up. I didn't make it up. Philip K. Dick made it up. I merely relate to you the application of our mind's ideas. The little grey cells. You cannot deny that in his correspondence and exegesis, he expends great effort to incorporating many, if not all of his early novels and some short stories into his extended exegesis.
Wait a second.
This includes his letters, interviews, conversations, everything he did post-1974 is all about subtly and cleverly propagating the truth of his pink beam experiences and dreams.
But
me no buts, Hastings. He gave us a clue when he said Valis was a picaresque novel. What is it that characterizes the picaresque novel? Come, Hastings, sure you know something. Didn't you read Cervantes in university? You did go to university, didn't you?
Of course I did. I'm an officer, after all, and you don't get to be an officer without an advanced education. I read Don Quixote, and it was long ago. Tilting at windmills, wasn't it? That sort of thing. A hopeless cause pursued for romantic reasons only. Wasn't there a girl involved, Dolores or Deborah, something like that?
Dulcinea. Look, what characterizes picaresque fiction is its presentation of the rogue, the outsider, usually poor and oppressed, who takes up a glorious but hopeless battle against the powers that be. Here we have PKD himself as a picador of science fiction, pricking a powerful bull of literature, and in the end defeating it. He never thought he would win. So that's it then. The shoot.
All of these visions, all of these weird events, the years of speculations, the novels themselves, it was all a form of wild imagination of one man who desired fame.
Look around you, my friend. All these young people today with their Apples and Androids, are they not on display when they snap these selfish pictures and tweet their lunches to their friends, their audience? They do not write their lives in a novel. They write them with these gadgets and YouTubes for all the world to see. They understand instinctively what Dick has walked. He is their Picaro, their picador. Words on paper pages are no longer enough, or even necessary for the creator of today. The creator of today uses many things to gain the attention of the world.
There's got to be more to it than that. That's much too simple an explanation.
Do you think of it? Obviously not. But we are not yet done. We have only explored part of this case. Murder has been committed, certainement. The murder of modern literature, albeit its corpse still sticks up the landscape. We have the murderer and the motive and have mastered the means, but we must establish the competency of the criminal before we go into court and hang him. We have laws in this country, Hastings, and justice will be served.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced. What if Dick was right? What if some vast, active, living, intelligent system from the stars, or living in plasmatic form in the Earth's upper atmosphere, did contact him?
That is all true. That this odd duck of arrival in California was chosen by alien beings and informed of what? Certainly there's something that must be considered before we can close the case. But tell me, my dear Hastings, what is more likely, that a man, a professional science fiction writer, exaggerates some unusual events and vivid dreams in his life into a story and writes it into a book? Or that this same man was visited by Christian saints and took it into light by alien signals? Still, we cannot dismiss it out of hand. We have so far made a case for an obsession with Dick, not uncommon in artists, that drove him in ultimate effect to fundamentally change the nature of literature. That this case includes some fantastic elements, like impressions that is usually only seen in hindsight, makes it hard to accept. But for now we are done. Hastings, let others make the argument for religion or madness. Only when their ideas are known will we be able to close this case with the crazy writer.
Righto, Perot. Let's have another beer.